When was the last time you were not tired? Not the question about last night's sleep. When was the last time you were genuinely, deeply not tired? When the reserves felt adequate. When the day's demands felt proportionate to what you had to give. When you were not managing the fatigue, not functioning despite the exhaustion, not performing fine while running on considerably less than fine. For some of you, it has been a while. And the rest you have been getting has not been fixing it. Because this is not the tired that sleep addresses. This is the other kind. The kind that has been building for months, maybe longer. That is in the bones rather than on the surface. That is present before the day starts and still present after it ends. Jesus did not say, "Come to me, all of you who have managed to get adequate sleep and maintain your energy levels." He said, "Come to me, all of you who are weary." The weary. The ones running on depleted reserves. The ones who have been giving more than they have been receiving for longer than is sustainable. The ones for whom tired is not a feeling right now, it is a season. That is the specific invitation. For the specific person. This prayer is for you. Come. Father. I am tired. Not the kind of tired that a good night's sleep addresses. Not the fatigue of a hard week that the weekend repairs. The other kind. The kind that has been building for longer than I can pinpoint, that settles into the bones rather than sitting on the surface, that is present in the morning before the day has asked anything of me and present in the evening after I have given everything I had. The kind of tired that is not a feeling but a season. I have been in this season for a while. Functioning, because the functioning does not stop just because the reserves are low. Showing up, because the showing up is what love and responsibility require regardless of what the internal weather is doing. Performing fine, because the world does not always make room for the honest answer to the question of how you are doing. But underneath the functioning and the showing up and the performing fine, I am weary. In the specific, sustained, accumulated way that the word weary describes better than tired does. The weight of a long season. The particular exhaustion of someone who has been pouring out without adequate replenishment. The person who keeps going because stopping is not available, but who knows, if they are honest, that the going is costing more than it used to. I am bringing that here today. Because you said to. Because the invitation was not to the composed or the recovered but to the weary. Come to me, all of you who are weary. I am coming. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11 verse 28. Lord, let me name what has produced this season. It may be the sustained caregiving, the long-term giving to others that is done from love but that depletes reserves without always replenishing them. The parent in the years of relentless need. The caregiver of an aging parent. The spouse of someone whose health has required an extended season of being the strong one. The person who is everyone else's person and has not always had their own person to be. It may be the sustained grief, the carrying of a loss that the world expects to be over by now. The mourning that has outlasted the initial support, that has entered the phase where people have moved on but the grief has not. The specific exhaustion of feeling something for longer than the social permission to feel it lasts. It may be the sustained pressure, the job that has been demanding more than it gives for longer than is sustainable. The financial pressure that never fully lifts. The decision-making and the responsibility and the weight of being the one who holds things together that has been going on without sufficient relief. It may be the spiritual weariness, the exhaustion of a faith that has been tested over a long season without resolution. The praying without visible answers. The believing without visible movement. The maintaining of hope when hope is the most effortful thing available. Whatever produced this season, you know. You see the accumulation. You are not surprised by where it has left me. And you did not say, first recover, then come. You said, come as you are. Weary and burdened. Now. Father, I confess what this season of exhaustion has produced in me. It has made me less than I want to be with the people who deserve more. The impatience that has shorter fuses than usual. The presence that is physically available and emotionally somewhere else. The shortness with the children, the withdrawal from the spouse, the cancelled plans with the friend because the energy simply was not there. The people who matter most receiving the remainder after everything else has taken the better portion. It has made me less honest than I need to be. The performance of fine because the real answer to how I am doing is long and the social context does not always accommodate long answers. The smile that precedes the I'm okay that both parties know is not entirely accurate. The loneliness of carrying something in public that requires a performance of not carrying it. It has affected my faith in ways that are harder to name. The prayers that feel like they are going nowhere, not because I have stopped believing they are heard but because the fatigue makes the praying effortful in a way it is not supposed to be. The reading that does not land the way it used to. The worship that I participate in more by habit than by feeling. The distance between what I know to be true and what I can feel to be true has grown in this season. I confess all of it. Not as failure, as honesty. The weariness is not a character flaw. But its effects are worth naming before the one who can address them. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Isaiah 40 verse 29. Father, I declare today what your word says about the weary. You do not despise weariness. You do not look at the exhausted person and say, you should be stronger by now. You look at the exhausted person and say, come. The invitation of Matthew 11 was not issued to the people who had it together. It was issued specifically to the weary and the burdened. The people who needed it most were the target audience. Your rest is not the rest of absence, the hollow emptiness of someone who has simply stopped. It is the rest of presence, the restoration that happens in the company of the one who made the person and knows what they need to be replenished. Jesus said, learn from me, I am gentle and humble in heart. And you will find rest for your souls. The rest is found in relationship with Him. Not in disengagement from life but in the reorientation toward the source that sustains it. You renew. That is not a metaphor, it is a description of what happens when the depleted person brings their depletion to the right place. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. Not will feel better temporarily. Will renew. The resource that was used up can be replenished. The season of weariness is not permanent. The tired that feels like it is who I am is not who I am, it is the condition of a season that has a limit. I declare that this season has a limit. That the weariness I am in will not be the permanent condition of my life. That the rest I need is available, not in my own management of my energy but in the God who gives it to those who come. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, they will run and not grow weary, they will walk and not be faint. Isaiah 40 verse 31. Father, I ask specifically for what the weary need. I ask for rest that actually restores. Not the shallow sleep of an exhausted body that wakes up tired. Not the distracted rest of someone who is technically not working but is mentally still carrying everything. The deep kind, the kind that you said you give to those you love. The sleep that goes all the way down. The Sabbath that repairs what the weak used. I ask for replenishment of what has been poured out. I have been giving from reserves that were already low. I ask for the refilling, of energy, of compassion, of the patience and the creativity and the emotional availability that sustained giving depletes. Fill what is empty. Restore what is spent. I ask for relief from the pressure that is producing the exhaustion. Not always the removal of the circumstances, some of what is tiring me cannot simply be removed. But relief within it. The lifting of the portion that does not have to be carried. The help that I have perhaps been too proud or too tired to ask for. The redistribution of weight that is currently too concentrated in one place. I ask for renewed perspective. Weariness distorts, it makes the permanent feel temporary and the temporary feel permanent. Let me see this season more accurately. Let me see the limit on it that I cannot currently see from inside it. Let me hold the weariness as a season and not as the defining characteristic of my life. Lord, I want to receive something today that I have been slow to receive. Permission to stop. Not permanently. Not irresponsibly. But the specific, necessary, healing permission to stop performing strength I do not have. To stop pretending the reserves are adequate when they are not. To stop treating rest as a reward I must earn rather than a provision I need. I have been confusing the continuing with the faithfulness. As though the stopping were a failure rather than a discipline. As though the rest were self-indulgence rather than the stewardship of the resource that the people who need me to steward. The weary person who will not rest is not serving well, they are spending capital they do not have and producing a diminished version of what genuine replenishment would make possible. Let me rest. Let me ask for help. Let me lay down what does not have to be carried today. Let me receive the provision of rest with the same openness with which I receive every other provision. It is not weakness. It is wisdom. Father, I am coming as I am. Weary. Depleted. Running lower than I wanted to be running at this point. Without the energy for an impressive prayer or a composed approach. Just, coming. Because that is the full requirement of the invitation. Just come. All who are weary. Come. Here I am. Give me the rest you promised. The renewal that only you can produce. The gentleness that restores rather than demands. The yoke that is easy and the burden that is light, which sounds impossible from where I am standing but which I choose to believe is available. I am coming. Amen. May the rest you need actually come. Not the shallow kind. The deep kind. The rest that goes into the places that the tiredness reached. That restores what the long season used. That replenishes the reserves that sustained giving has drawn down. May you have the wisdom and the permission to stop, temporarily, necessarily, without guilt, so that what you return to you can return to with something left to give. The rest is not the enemy of the service. It is what makes the service sustainable. May the season of weariness have a visible limit. May the first signs of renewal be close. May you wake up one morning and realize the weight is slightly lighter than it was, and then slightly lighter again, and know that the replenishment has been happening even when you could not feel it. You came as you were. Weary. That was enough to qualify. The rest is His to give. If these daily prayers are part of your life and you want to help keep them coming, there is a PayPal link in the description. Every contribution matters. Thank you if you feel led. New prayer on this channel every single day, for the weary seasons and the renewed ones, for the tired and the rested. Subscribe and turn on notifications. If this prayer named your season, leave a comment. Even just, "This is me right now." Your honesty gives permission to everyone reading who needed to admit the same thing. Like this and share it with someone in a weary season. They need to know the invitation is still open. Send it. Thank you for praying with me. Come as you are. The rest is real. I'll see you tomorrow.